footy to start off 2017, wasn't it? Absolutely sensational. It's going to be the same this weekend. We have a sensational show lined up for you tonight. Hutchie, good evening to you. What's on?
Hello, Becca. Good evening, everyone. Some massive news as we go to air tonight, too, with an All-Australian footballer contemplating retirement, spat with his club, left out on the weekend. Damien Barrett has that story, along with a captain who was in the eye of a recruiting bid from another club. So plenty with Damien Barrett still to come tonight. Plus, open mouth with Dane Swan. Back from the jungle, he sits down with our very own Mike Sheehan. Wow.
Can't wait for that. Well, Sam Newman, he's used to making headlines, but tonight will be a headline like no other. He reveals something that will shock the nation.
And the big panel continues. Bernard Vince among them tonight. The Melbourne Star out suspended. And Caleb Daniel for the Premiers, the Bulldog fans, is in the house.
And, of course, we have a grand final replay this weekend. We'll ask Caleb Daniel to analyse that blockbuster match. But before we get to all of that, we need to welcome our first-class panel tonight, and it is absolutely sensational. Please put your hands together from the St Kilda Footy Club. Nick Riewoldt from the Geelong Cats, Joel Selwood, and the big Bill Brownless.
Wowee.
Welcome, boys. We're going to get to you very soon. Plenty to deal with tonight with Nick and with Joel as well. But this is time for the most significant moment in Australian television, as it is each and every week. He is a legend of the game, an icon of television, the most watched and watchable person on the small screen. Put your hands together for the one, the only, John Sammy Newman.
I appreciate the intro, Craig. You're going to have to wind that back a bit, mate. You'll have me believing that shortly, all that stuff. Now, I'm a bit nervous tonight. You wouldn't think that.
You look a bit uncomfortable.
25 years. Because sometimes, you three over there...
you three?
Sometimes I'm a bit sheepish. When you go away on bivouac or on a bonding session, sometimes through naivety you wear your heart in your sleeve, and I let something go about myself out in the middle of nowhere when we were doing the bonding session. And when we came back to civilisation, which is, I thought, why did I say that? So I don't want you to make a big deal of it.
So hang on, you're not comfortable with what we shot and filmed and you don't want us to show it tonight? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, you know, we shot something of yours, a body part of yours.
Did we? I didn't know.
No, we didn't.
We shot a body part of yours that you weren't comfortable with and didn't want us to show.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
Let's get back to you, Sam.
Yes, you do. And we had to... Anyhow, I'm a bit...
You're actually genuinely nervous about what's happening.
Genuinely, not generally. I'm genuinely nervous about it, Craig.
Sam, but you always say to us, this show is always about honesty, and whatever happens, you have to be open and honest.
I'm up for it.
Exactly, you have to be open and honest.
Everyone's going to know about this too.
And stick around for it. I must say, this has been a learning curve for me, because one, I've never been more shocked to hear someone say something.
So have I.
I was shocked that I said it.
Two, I thought you had genuine network clout, because I thought you'd come back in and you'd say there's no way known that is going to air.
Well, Craig,
on
you
TV.
know how true you are. I went straight upstairs to them upstairs and I said, I don't think we should show this because it's embarrassing for me and a bit from, not from a family, but those people I've been out
Your
with
loved
and
ones.
Well,
anyway, the thing is, you may have gone upstairs and asked the bosses not to show it.
That's
but
what I
Hutchie
did.
and I run the show at the moment, so we are showing it. And
stick around for it.
Stick around.
You think we're overplaying this? It's extraordinary revelation.
No, it's not.
It is.
Anyway, it is. We can't wait for it. You do not want to miss that. In the meantime, we need to welcome Nick Riewoldt. Great to see you, Nick. Nick. On Saturday, I had my heart in my mouth. I thought we lost you. Forever.
Yeah.
The last quarter, what on earth happened, you poor thing?
Yeah, you and me both. I feel like a bit of a goose, to be honest. But when I went down, I felt something go pop in the back of my knee, which ended up being in the capsule. I've split the capsule, which is not too serious, but I did contemplate it being the end of my career. I actually contemplated waving to the crowd on the way off, which I would have made a real fool of myself if I had have done that. But it's probably the best case scenario. I'll miss somewhere between, I guess, 2 to 6 weeks. But yeah, I did think for a moment there that the end of my career was upon me.
Fat.
And you make...
Sorry. Fat, he could be a contender for Suki Lala.
Oh, no. Mate, you would have sworn he was going to they're going to put a fence around him and shoot him. He's gone down. You get carried off like that and it's 2 weeks.
Hey, yeah, well, that's what I said. I feel like a goose, didn't I?
You actually look like a goose.
It's great that you can make a joke out of it, and we're all relieved that you're going to be back
Yes, we
inside
are.
6 weeks. It's fantastic for footy fans right around the nation. Did your football mortality flash before your eyes? Like, in all seriousness, because you haven't thought much about the end until now, I don't think. You just, the ever-ready guy that keeps running, keeps kicking goals. So say you almost put the thumb up is a significant concession that you're near the end.
Yeah, well, I'm 35 at the end of this year, so to think that I might have had to go through a reconstruction and then be 35, and whether the club would have been prepared to give me another year, you know, they're all the things that I was thinking about as I was sitting there on the turf. It's amazing what your mind is able to process, and the amount of what-ifs you're able to sort of work your way through and rationalise while you're sitting there. But, you know, it was only 2 or 3 minutes. We got back in the rooms. The doctors did the test to ascertain whether I'd actually ruptured my ACL, and I hadn't. So pretty quickly we knew it wasn't as serious as potentially we thought.
Roo, you said you heard a horrible noise.
Yeah.
It wasn't this, was it? Oh.
Where do you go? You've been rolling that out for 6 years.
Yeah, we're never stopping.
Time to get some new material.
Nick, the only person I think that was actually happy that you were injured was your little boy. What did he say to you?
Oh, he was pretty excited that I got to ride in the small car. So he was very excited about that, and probably my wife too. She might have thought we could book some flights back to Texas, but yeah, no, all's well that end well. So a couple weeks off, and then I'll be right.
One of the other great veterans in the competition is Bob Murphy, a contemporary of yours. And you bobbed up, Nick, in his column recently, or his piece on SEN, I think it might have been, on his great 5 sledges aimed at his during his career. Now, I'll read from this. Halfway through the second quarter, we crossed... Bob had just done his top team in the competition. Halfway through the second quarter, we crossed paths, and Nick turned to me and said, "And you, I'm right off you. How I didn't make that 22 is beyond me." And as he ran off, I just heard him say under his breath, "Jack effing Gunston."
Oh, well, I think Jack was a young player in the competition. I probably thought I was going a bit better than Jack at that stage, so I'll let Murph know about it. We've got a great relationship, Bob and I. He actually sent me a photo after Saturday night when I got stretchered off of him walking off the ground after he'd done his ACL. So I appreciated that. He's got a good sense of humour.
Joel, welcome. It's fantastic to have you here, and congratulations on the Cats win on the weekend. You're wearing the Joel Selwood badge, which is the nose. We'll get to that very soon. But this moment caught our eye in the game. You consoling Chris Scott at half-time in what was a fairly hostile blue just before the break. Chris is brooding here with McCarthy, and just tell us what happens here when you tell the coach, look, it looks like to calm down right there.
Well, it was as simple as that. I mean, we had to remind the coach that we actually had a pretty good first half. We're up by 39 points there, and I thought I told Link the same message as he was about to give, but he was probably going to give it a bit harder than what I gave it to Link. So I saved the young kid. I was his bouncer for the afternoon.
Well, the reason Chris Scott was so hot under the collar was actually this, because this preceded that moment, and it got pretty nasty over in the west, over into the crowd at Domain Stadium. We've got Ruggles over the fence there, and it started off with sort of Fife and Mac on the ground, and then it escalated, and everyone got involved there. It's a lot of fire in this match, even though you were quite up at this point.
Yeah, it was fiery. I mean, we played really well early, tackled well, played with a bit of edge, and it brought out the best in us. And just at that stage, we had the ball, and Link gave the free kick away, which he
Link.
Yeah, soon got told that it wasn't the right thing to do.
Which, we love the fence moments, which leads us to the Footy Show all-time greatest fence moments. Here it is here, Harmsy and the Foss. Look at the fossil here, shows his strength. Look at the Foss get him over the fence there. Oh, you're a tough bloke. Stephen Kernahan here, his head goes into a bin. Shane Crawford and James Hurd, have a look at that. The two Golden Boys punching on. And the old mate Plugger, have a look at what he does with Dusty Fletcher here. Straight over the fence. Plugger, there he is. We love the fence moments, and there is one not so great fence moment, and this is Hutchie after you kicked that great goal in the Legends game. Have a look at this Richmond supporter looking for someone else to get an autograph. He doesn't want yours, Hutch. Anyone else around? I must find someone else. Couldn't find anyone. Just on... When that blue happened, sorry, Foss, when the blue happened on the fence there, Tomahawk was actually a bit funny, a bit of LOL from the Hawk who ran in and had something to say to the Freo boys.
Yeah, right on half-time, he was just telling the Freo boys that the mining boom isn't going quite as well as what it was one day over in Perth, so that they should save their pennies and break it up.
No, really, that's not bad for Tomahawk.
And at the risk of annoying the politically correct brigade, who...
Or would you worry about that now after 25 years?
How fantastic is that fence stuff? Pushing and shoving, no punches thrown. Fans love that sort of stuff, and we jump on people and say, oh, it's a disgrace. It's the name of the game. It's a virile, strong, brutal game. Well, it's not so brutal anymore, mind you.
Plenty of passion in it.
Joel, you had a tough summer. You were caught speeding, lost your licence, and the club lost a sponsorship with the TAC on the back of it. You've been squeaky clean your whole career and prided yourself on your image. How annoyed with yourself are you about what happened?
Oh, it's definitely disappointing. I was doing the wrong thing and got caught, and, you know, not even got caught. I was doing the wrong thing. I shouldn't have been doing it. It was a mistake that I wish I didn't make. But, yeah, I'll pay for it now. The footy club obviously pay for it, so I'm very disappointed that it's come to that stage.
Joel, when you're actually pulled over, knowing that the TAC is a major sponsor of Geelong, did that immediately flash into your mind thinking, oh, God, no, here's the TAC sponsorship gone?
Oh, yeah, it did.
Did
in
it?
many ways, yeah, because we haven't behaved to the way that we should have if we have a sponsorship deal like that in place through, you know, countless incidents that have happened before. But, you know, mine was to do the right thing then and was to inform the footy club for them to inform TAC and the rest of the crew on what happened and see where they wanted to take it from there.
We've found another contender for Suki Lala. The TAC, come on, what is wrong with you?
Sam, you've had your...
No, seriously, you can turn it into a positive. Don't be so wet. It's pathetic.
Just last one.
It is pathetic.
Last one on that. Did you feel the need to talk to your leadership group and explain your actions?
Yeah, spoke to a leadership group. Yeah, definitely spoke to a leadership group, as we would with everyone. But it was similar. I heard Alistair Clarkson talk about the same situation. I was dealing with the law and, you know, with the police itself. That was being run through the papers for nearly 2 weeks straight. That was the punishment that the club thought that was enough at the time. And that I'd stood up and did the right thing since the incident.
It's a wonder they didn't suspend you and miss games like Hawthorn left out Luke Hodge. That was a great, what a great decision that was. Now, Joel. In every dark cloud there is a silver lining because, as I understand it, in 2014 you were made the Geelong ambassador of Uber. So now you're back with them driving around in one of their cars.
Well, yeah, that's not so correct. I wasn't an ambassador, but I did get a ride at the time. But yeah, I will be calling on Uber a bit more over the next little period.
Just one other quick thing I want to show you from Sunday night's
Paddy? Is
match.
it about Paddy?
It is about Paddy. Oh, but come on, it was funny. When we started the second quarter, he just thought he'd invite himself into the huddle, see what the midfield's planning. And that guy said, nick off. Paddy, you can't be doing that, Paddy. Very funny. Hey, we have a huge game Thursday night, tomorrow night at the MCG. Let's get straight to it. It's Richmond taking on Collingwood. We're supposed to have the teams at this point. There we go. Let's have a look at Richmond. Out goes Hunt Lloyd and McIntosh. In comes Lennon, Short and Lambert. Over the page to the Pies. Out goes Mason Cox. Travis Varco out because of suspension. Broomhead in and James Aish in as well. The story of this match will be Dustin Martin. He was on absolute fire in round one. All that talk of contract, didn't have a care in the world. He was absolutely on fire. 4 goals he kicked, possibly could have kicked 2 goals more. I absolutely love this guy. Dustin Martin is a sensational footballer, and my word, how on earth are Collingwood going to stop him this week?
And just on that, Nick and Joel, you've been 2 of the higher paid players in your own clubs and by extension the competition. What do you think he's worth now? What would you pay him, Nick?
Well, I mean, it's a really tough question to answer. I mean, you got to take into account the relativities of all the other players that are currently on your list. Whether you want to overpay one player to the detriment of the rest of the squad, but
Like
you would
yourself.
think, considering no, not anymore, Sam.
No.
You would think, considering the you know, the benchmark that have been set, he'd be in the $1 million range.
You pay him $1 million, Joel? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely close. I mean, if you're a key forward, you're probably earning a little bit more.
I'll play on the wing these days.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. But you can...
Yeah, I mean, he's a midfield goal kicker, which is...
That could cost you another player, though, if you're paying that. So it's a tough one.
That's what I was saying, yeah, the relativities and...
He's worth
Well,
2.
who cares if it costs you another
He's
player?
worth 2. He
Worth
wins
2
games.
players?
He
He
wins
does,
games.
yes,
He's
he
a
is.
genuine match winner, and as a
2 mil.
supporter...
At this stage, he
no,
is.
worth 2 players, Dopey, not 2 million.
God, I was going to say.
If I was a supporter,
Joel's
I'd be,
about to walk out in the cat's head from here.
I'd be happy to see him come
Your
to
tips, Bill, Joel, Nick?
Hey, did I see those odds right from our good friends at Sportsbet? The Collingwood favourites in this game. We'll
Slight
flash them up
favourites,
again.
I think.
Geez,
Yeah.
I would have thought the Tigers would have been, so I'll stick with the Tigers. They were very good last week.
Yeah, interesting to see Mason Cox out, and they've gone for a smaller forward line. I think they missed a few opportunities last week in front of goal Collingwood, and I think they'll win.
Yeah, I agree. I think they put in a really good showing and could have beaten the Dogs, so I think Collingwood.
The difference between Collingwood and Carlton last week was that, not Collingwood and Carlton, Carlton and Richmond last week was Dustin Martin. If Collingwood let Dustin Martin run rampant like Carlton did, and this is where captaincy, we had a spirited discussion about captains. Beside tossing the coin and leading by example, what else do you do on the ground? Someone should have said, we must put 3 or 4 people on Dustin Martin and stop him winning the game.
There's
It's
no
the
more taggers.
biggest story of the night. You actually watched the season opener.
Yeah, you watched it.
Craig,
Did you?
I've never been to the moon, but I know it's there.
Well, you go back about as far.
That was the difference. That was the difference between those 2 sides, Richmond and
I think we all agree.
And
it's a good
if
sign.
the coach is not going to get someone to pick up the match winner, why wouldn't the captain do it? But the captains do nothing these days besides toss coin and lead by example.
Becca, who are you tipping?
As much as I've just declared my love for Dustin Martin, I'm actually going to tip Collingwood just.
Yep. Might get Sam to take us through the Crows-Giants game a little bit later on, a special insight, and step us through what happened in that game if we get a chance. It's a good sign. I'm supportive. I love it. You're watching the footy. It was a great weekend of footy, no question.
Wasn't it, Wash?
Speaking of the Tigers, who knew that our very own Alex Rance was actually a country music star? He's been out on a road trip with country legend and Carlton fanatic Lee Kernaghan, and here's a little taste.
I just don't know if these songs are going to go over too well at the...
Denny Eat Mustard?
Yeah.
Is it a family affair, the Denny Eat Mustard? Or?
Yeah, there are families there. Most of them are drunk.
Yeah, well, this will put him to sleep for sure. It's like we've got some Aladdin going on. I could show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
Boys,
And look who joins him, another country music fan, Sticks Kernahan. Have a look at this. The big question, does he sing Stand By Your Man? For 3 decades, everyone's tried to get him to recreate that famous moment from outside Norton's Hotel after the 1987 Grand Final win. Can Rance and Kernaghan succeed where all others have failed, and will history repeat of itself? None of us have actually seen this yet, but this is coming your
Does he
way
sing?
very, very soon on the Footy Show.
He doesn't sing, does he?
Well,
does he sing?
if they get out of that car without Sticks singing it again for the first time, I'll be very, very disappointed, Becca.
Wow.
That's still to come in the coming weeks on the Footy Show.
got another exclusive here, old exclusive Brownlow story about that after last week with Plugger.
On your hat. Oh,
It's exclusive Brownless. Now, just speaking about, talking about Alex Rance, and we know how much he loves Aladdin, the boots that he wore last Thursday night, these are the boots he wore.
He did not.
At the MCG. That's the genie from
No
Aladdin.
way.
Yeah, it's
He did
true.
not. He did not have those on his feet.
And the other one's Jeffer, and he's from Aladdin too.
He wore those at the MCG.
He wore those last Thursday night at the MCG because he's such a mad Aladdin fan and loves Disney movies. That is true.
There's a joke coming here, right?
No, Joe, exclusive.
And you were the only one that noticed that. And
I'm
you were
the only one. No one's picked that up. No one has picked that up, but that is true.
He wore painted Aladdin boots in
Painted
round one.
In Aladdin boot. And
What for?
I don't know if the way he went, he might wear them again, by the way.
We're very lucky that his favourite movie wasn't Deep Throat.
On that note,
No, hang on.
How old's that?
Now, young Jake Clark.
Yep.
Jake?
well done to Jake, the painter.
Jake, he has painted up some other boots that we're going to ask our very esteemed friend over here from Geelong to wear, Joel.
Come on, Joel.
And these are in honour of... Would you wear these on when you play?
Uber?
These are the Uber boots. There's the money it costs you. And the club, because TAC, how weak are you? There's your number, and of course, on the front is the speed that you were doing. So you shouldn't have gone that quickly. So
That's not funny. I'm not. That's
that
not.
is.
Plenty more to come on the Footy Show. Plenty more to come on the Footy Show.
Would you wear them,
right
Craig?
after this,
Shut up.
Damien
A good Essex
Barrett
boot, by the
has
looks
an
of it.
exclusive of his own regarding an All-Australian who
Sit
didn't
down,
play on
Rocket
the
Man.
weekend. We're going to go inside that and find out why next on the Footy Show.
Tonight on the Footy Show, Swanee's out of the jungle, but things could get much hairier on the set of Mike's Open Mouth.
So I don't know what that word means, so you have to dumb yourself down for this interview, mate.
Shit answer.
Come on, give your mate a pump up, Dusty. In part 2 of our bush bonding trip, Sam Newman drops his biggest bombshell in the 24-year history of the Footy Show. Look out for those big bad tigers out there in the bush. Later on, we're joined live by the Demons veteran, Bernie Vince, and the Bulldog pocket rocket, Caleb Daniel. Caleb's dogs are barking, but can they put the Swannies to flight one more time in the grand final replay? I agree with you, young Michael. You'd be crackers to miss it tonight on the Footy Show.
And I tell you, they were magnificent scenes at the MCG. Essendon getting their first win of the season after a long, hard couple of years. So great for Dyson Heppel in his first year as captain. Big cuddle for Butcher there. And didn't Joe Watson enjoy his return to football? It was a sensational night. I absolutely had a tear in my eye, Hutchie. I thought that was... Yeah, I really did.
So
I thought
did
that
I,
was
Steph.
so special. Bill,
So
did you
did
have
I.
a tear in your eye?
I loved it, and I love this. The great man, Kevin Sheedy, 38 Shirazes he had up there, and he tried to get the pump going while waving the scarf. He couldn't. Then Terry Danner, he had 38 frothies. Have a look at both of them. They're pissed. But they loved it. They loved it. They had a great old time.
Everyone loved it.
Well done to the Bombers.
Except the
It was a
Hawks.
great night for football. There's no question about that. And 17th and 18th last year, the two informed teams of the competition, Brisbane and Essendon, meet this weekend in round 2. Should be absolutely unbelievable. They head to the Gabba. Lions were in good form last weekend with a win in the Q Clash. And the story in this game will be Dyson Heppel again. His captaincy in the first week, I thought, Joel, was sensational.
Yeah, it was. I mean, as good as game as I've probably seen him play. And he's played some good ones against us too, but it was great to see Dyson and the guys back out there as footy fans, like Nick and I are, while playing. To see him back and enjoying football is great to see.
And it was this moment here, I think, Nick, from memory, where he tells Brendan Goddard, you can't see it there to the right of screen.
He says, Nick off.
Nick off. BJ, I'll kick
I've
the
got
goal.
this.
Yeah, it was great leadership. He's in a really fortunate position as a young captain where he's got two ex-captains there to mentor him at the same time while he's developing, in Job and BJ. And yeah, you're right, it was a great night for the footy club. Good to see David Evans and those types getting back into the rooms and and amongst the club again. It was pretty special.
All right, well, Damien Barrett will be here later on, but breaking news as we go to air tonight, so he joins us early. Good evening and welcome to you, Damien.
Hello, Hutchie.
Well, Damien Barrett, everyone. What can you tell us about a situation that began brewing on the
Yeah,
weekend?
it involves a St Kilda veteran, a 5-times grand final player, an All-Australian in Sean Dempster, who tonight is considering his future in the game. Mystery surrounds the reasons behind this situation, but we do know that he was extremely disappointed at missing senior selection last week for the game against Melbourne. He also missed the Saints VFL-aligned game on the same weekend. It is not injury-related, this situation, and the club tonight is well aware that Sean Dempster is indeed considering his entire future in the AFL.
OK, so you didn't play on the weekend. Are you across what happened here, Nick?
No, I'm not. I was only made aware of it as we came to air. I wasn't aware that he didn't play in the VFL. I was off getting scans on the weekend, but he's a very private person, Sean. He's been an absolute warrior for us, so I guess all I can say is I hope he's OK. And clearly tomorrow when I get to the club, I'll be able to follow up a bit more.
Yeah, OK, so unknown whether he'll play again.
Yeah.
And more to come in there.
Yeah, he's actually considering his whole involvement in the game. And again, I said mystery does surround it. There's a few things bouncing around Hutchie. We can rule out a mental illness or an illness, but there are issues that relate to what's happened in recent times at that footy club that have Sean Dempster tonight, and the club is well aware of this, actually contemplating whether he actually plays the game again.
More on that in the coming days, I'm sure. We'll be back later on with Damien Barrett. Thanks for joining us early, Damo. First major rookie error on the show. Thanks for your patience. Forgot to give everyone's tips.
You did forget to give it. I was just going to let it slide, but now that you brought it up.
You didn't clip me though, which I respect.
I'll hit you later on.
Bill, your tips in the Brisbane-Essendon game, please.
Upset here. Very good Brisbane last week. That midfielder, Zorko, Beams and Rockcliffe, very good. Brisbane at home for me at $3. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree with Bill that it'll be a battle, the midfields, but I think the Essendon crew will get on top.
Yeah, lucky you came back to us because they carry a lot of weight, these tips.
Yeah.
They're really important. I think the Bombers 2 in a row.
OK.
I've been around a while. And besides their premierships, that was Essendon's best victory since they've been in business.
That's 2 games you watched on the weekend.
Wasn't it brilliant?
They were fantastic. That beleaguered club, finally.
What's happened?
Hey,
hang on. I know you'd like to have a bit of a laugh. You have fallen back in love with the game, haven't you? In 1 weekend.
Not at all. No.
You watched this game too? There's 2 games you watched.
No, they were... And I'm sorry I couldn't march. I had something on. Kevin Sheedy rang me and said why wasn't I there?
It was a big march too, wasn't it?
I know. There were over 30,000
Even Sheeds rang you didn't march.
He asked me why. I said I had something on.
Cashy?
But I would have been there.
What did you have on?
I didn't have no Cashies, Bill. Pardon?
What did you possibly have on the weekend?
No, I had a very important thing I had to do. It's a personal thing. Not like the thing that I let go in the bonding session.
What about that?
I hope, I have no idea who will win, but I hope Essendon go on and play in a grand final.
OK. I am tipping Essendon. I thought we're on a high and they're going to continue. So back-to-back 2 wins for Essendon for me. Let's take a look at Sunday at Etihad. It's a 1:10 game and it is North up against Geelong. Very big clash at Etihad. The story has got to be the Hawk. He was up and about on the weekend. He looks absolutely sensational. I know it's not about looks, but I think it's contributing to the way he plays. He looks like he's stripped a lot of weight. He's dancing around. He's moving up forward. He's leading really well. And he's just playing great footy. I thought that him buying a farm and him being a part-time farmer might actually work to his detriment, but it actually hasn't.
Well, maybe it might be a little bit. He might not be eating as much, but he did have gastro about 10 days previous to the game.
Is that why he looks so thin?
He was under 100 kilos for the first time since he was about 17, so that's why he's looking so good. But he did have a good pre-season, and since January, we have seen the best of him. So
he should have gastro every 3 weeks. You should give him a needle or make him sick or something.
The gastro needle? There's not a gastro needle.
Well,
just leave a chicken out for a few days.
Leave a chicken out on the bench. That's it. Exactly.
Stick a big, large pin in you, Bill. You'd explode and go through the roof.
No, Billy, you tipping Geelong?
Yeah, I'll go with the Cats. They were very surprised, a bit surprised, but they were very good. Yeah, they played on the line. They were good and tough. I like that. On the edge. Well done.
I was going to say, what did you like? But you've answered chance at it.
Joel, you're obviously tipping Geelong.
Cats.
Nick?
Yeah, I think Geelong as well. Josh Kennedy kicked 7 against North last week, so Hawk might get a bag.
As you would know, Joel, I don't always pick Geelong because I actually tip from my brain, not from my heart.
Is that to me?
Yeah, that is to you.
Yes.
You're
Hang
just
on
a
minute.
heart. You just tip
Geelong
from your
finished
heart.
second on the no.
You just tip
I
from
tipped
your
because
heart,
I think they're
Becca.
going to win. They finished
Not
second on
all-
the ladder
not
last
e-
year. I didn't go too badly.
You never tipped against Geelong at
Yes,
all last year, ever.
Sycophant.
I went through the tapes.
You went through the
Sycophant, you are, Beck.
Inconsistency is Geelong's consistent companion. But if you can go over to Perth and beat the Fremantle side, who I thought would make the 8, if you can't win this game, you may as well pack it in. So Geelong with a leg in the air.
I like the self-belief.
Hey?
I like the self-belief of our girl Becca.
No, that's not. That's
Anyway,
just
I just want to ask Joel. Don't worry about my
patriotism.
tips. It's really not that important. I just want to ask
Don't talk
Joel.
about your what?
Tips.
Oh.
It's not that important. I fell into that, didn't I? Can we just talk some footy for 1 minute? 1 minute. Harry Taylor, the experiment if you're going to play him up forward. I don't know if it's suiting Harry, but it's certainly suiting Tom Hawkins. Is that going to continue, do you think, throughout the season?
Yeah, well, yeah, we think that Harry can be quite dangerous down there. The boys haven't got to work together much over the pre-season period because Tom was had a knee injury, and then Harry was working one out a lot throughout that January time. So we'll see the best of him. Harry will kick a bag of goals, and he'll kick a number of them throughout the season. I'm pretty confident in that.
Okie dokie.
And goal of the year too, we saw.
Well, we've got a contender anyway, but we're going to miss
first
him.
week, Bill.
Yeah,
Becca's-
goal of the year. Mark it down there, old
imbecile.
fossil.
Becca is tipping the Cats, obviously, which is
Oh, I'm too scared to say it now.
no question about that. Now, this caught our attention during the week. Cole Hutchison is one of Geelong's most senior ever, he's the biggest historian in AFL history.
He was.
He's with the AFL. The Geelong, great lover of the Cats, is a judge, I think, of the team of the century. His top 50 Cats of all time held serious significance. 3 people here on the panel. Joel Selwood, number 7. Ooh.
Yes.
Sam Newman, number 15. John Sam Newman. And Bill Brownless.
Nogger.
Bill Brownless, where is it?
Can't.
Am I there?
Didn't make it.
Well, Cole.
Oh,
Billy.
Bill.
Cole Hutchison can get stuff. Fair dinkum, mate. He's got in there Les Splinter Hardiman, Tika Rankin, Bunny Eastman. I've never heard of these blokes. Maggie Quinn, who are they? Never heard
I've
of them.
played with them, Bill.
Old Nogger Newman.
I've played with them.
You would have.
Hey, Fossil, how did you feel about being number 15?
Well, see, that's such a subjective thing. If Cole Hutchison, who's a very good man, and I take
Knows
on...
his footy.
I said, Joel, I did say he's a very good man and he does know his footy, but to me, Cole loses credibility when he doesn't put Graham Farmer as number 1. I don't care who has ever played for Geelong, Graham Farmer was the best
Who was
player.
one? Senior?
Senior.
Yeah.
So, I'm very happy to be 15. Mind you, I
Where
reckon
do you have yourself,
10 of those people wouldn't carry my bags into the training rooms. The 10 ahead of me wouldn't carry
Bill,
my bags.
Bill, did you notice, I'm just looking at the list, number 46 is Barry Stoneham.
Oh,
he couldn't even get in on the list.
Old Red Nuts himself. Fair dinkum. Didn't play for 5 years, had a broken leg, old Sookies. Fair dinkum. I used to run rings around Basil.
Well, our old mate Dane Swan. Dane Swan, we've missed him. He's back from the jungle. So we thought it was about time that he sat down with Mike Sheehan in our new segment called Open Mouth.
258 unforgettable games, all with poker, all in the last week since he got back from the jungle. He has more than a whiff of scallywag about him, my next guest, and it being after midday, Jack Daniels. Dane Swan, welcome.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
Dane, people say you've turned over a new leaf. I'm tipping it's a marijuana one. Am I on the money?
No, mate, no. There's been a couple of big weekends, but...
You can't remember?
No.
At your former club, there is a trend for players to blame their dogs for unfortunate incidents. Quick question. Where was your dog Barney when the Albion went up in smoke?
It's a very good question.
Do you blame him? Do you think Barney had something to do with it?
He was out walking on his own that morning.
Now, in 2012, you came under fire for your playing weight. Now, you've returned from the jungle having lost 14 kilos. Instead of Gatorade, should Bucks have had you on the bison piss?
Probably, yes.
You look great for it, though. I mean, what did that stuff taste like? Did you love drinking urine?
Well, I've done it before on Mad Mondays and footy trips, so it helped me in good stead. So nothing I ate or drank over there was a problem to me.
You're a weird unit.
Yep.
What does dung beetle taste like? A bit like, you know, losing a Brownlow to Chris Judd?
No. A bit easier to swallow than that.
Vegas. You and Dustin Martin love it. I mean, if we were to bottle your urine from those trips, what % alcohol would it be? I think you and I both know the answer would be shitloads, wouldn't it, Dane?
Pretty high, yeah.
Extremely high.
It's working because my career was okay and Dustin's going all right at the moment, so maybe most other players should get over there and have a crack.
With the Rat Pack gone, do you think they've finally got any potential criminal factor at the club contained to the cheer squad?
Well, Geordie's put us off on the right foot. He's flying the flag for the Rat Pack a little bit at the start, so...
You're proud of that, aren't you?
Mate, proud as I've been in a long time.
You taught him everything he knows.
You know, warm the cockles of the heart, that did.
You once seriously told the AFL Record that your dream job was sticking the stickers on apples. I now know why Bucks thought you were a f***wit.
Yeah. No, fair point. It's a tough job, though.
In 2017, your plan is to do bugger all, so slightly more than last year.
Yeah, well, I'm here, aren't I?
The Burning Man Festival, I mean, what is that?
I've heard interesting things, so I'll let you know once I'm home.
So it's got nothing to do with the bloke that set your pub alight?
Maybe. Well, it'll be an interesting festival. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. I think he's in jail, so I don't think he's going.
Jail. Describe your fashion label to me. Is that really fashion, or have you just been going around mugging hobos?
How did you know?
So I can't imagine you sitting in there with textiling and doing all that sort of stuff, coming up with new items. I just imagine you've gone around stealing shit.
Bit of both, yeah.
You have Sam Newman on your rear. Half your luck. My son's got him on his f***ing answering machine.
I heard good things about that when I was in the jungle.
Dane Swan, thank you for staying awake primarily.
No worries. It's a pleasure.
Dane Swan on Open Mouth, and Dane's hitting the comedy circuit in his own right in the coming weeks. You can go and see him Saturday the 8th of April with Titus O'Reilly. There you go, yarravillelaughs.com. Tickets selling fast. If you want to go and see Dane Swan
very good man,
on
Dane
stage,
isn't he?
Very good
you can
man.
go and see him. And next week, the Footy Show back to its rightful home on a Thursday night. Should be magnificent at 8:30 as per normal. Now the footy returns to its normal ecosystem on the weekend. Alex Rance and that tour. Can't wait to see that. Heath Shaw, Dion Prestia and a whole lot more next Thursday, 8:30 here on Channel 9.
Terrific. Can't wait to see Heath Shaw. We've seen him a little bit, but not in person. Boys, I need to ask you this question because there still hasn't been a decision on this and it's been talked about the last couple of weeks. Day or night grand final, what would you prefer, Joel Selwood?
I'm open to both. I just want to be back in one.
No, in a perfect world, what would you rather play in?
I'm not really traditionalist. I personally think it'll be a better event if we did have it later in the day.
Better? What's wrong with it now?
Just let him, he's allowed to answer that.
I think we would get bigger acts out if they played in front of a toilet. Who sings at lunchtime?
Fireworks?
No one wants to sing at lunchtime. They want the show.
I thought it was just about the football.
Fireworks, bang.
I thought Joel would be the last bloke that would be worried about the music.
Yeah, well, the same. I'd be able to play at 6 a.m. if I remember we were back on the stage. But, yeah, I'd probably prefer to keep it during the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about you, Sam?
This is nothing more than a gratuitous grab by Channel 7 for ratings. There is no reason to play the grand final at night. The day is a breakfast where people go to, then they go to luncheon and get half maggoted, then they go to the football at 2:30, they celebrate or commiserate after it, they go out till about midnight, the kids, it is ridiculous to move it tonight, and we're not trying to cater for Northern Hemisphere countries that want to get up at 4 in the morning and watch it. Just stick to what it is. It's a great day. Let's not ruin it by making it at night.
No, Hutchie, we've been to Super Bowls where it's been twilight and it's been magnificent, hasn't it? You play half the game in the light and then half at night, twilight.
Who cares, Bill? This is not the Super Bowl. This is us here.
Yeah, but you can have lights on. It is a magnificent spectacle.
Oh.
It is a magnificent spectacle.
I think it's enough of a
Most
spectacle.
people who have gone to Super Bowl at AFL land, clubs come back and change their mind straight away. So.
Exactly.
Oh, well, you'll have to shout me a ticket to the Super Bowl. We've got a free trip to the
Why don't you
Super
get
Bowl
some
to
of the
change our
Super Bowl
minds.
people come over and watch our grand final in the daytime? They might change theirs.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, The big winner?
Hey,
The big winner of a night grand final?
Channel 7.
Bill Brownless, 15 minutes a gig. He charges very aggressively for his gigs. Should be
I do them all for free.
big day at the grand final. Right, West Coast and St Kilda is our next game this weekend at the main stadium. Should be on for young and old this after the Saints were disappointing in round one. West Coast on the back of Sam Mitchell, 38 possessions were magnificent. The story of this game, can St Kilda bring the heat? They are a pressure-based team, Nick Revolt. 1 quarter only last week, and your trademark, which is your pressure, was out the door.
Yeah, it was. Second quarter, we were okay. We kicked 1 goal 7 and Melbourne kicked 7 straight, so clearly that got them back into the game. And then the last half was really disappointing. As you mentioned, we're a team that bases our game on pressure. That's our one wood, so to speak, and we didn't bring that. So bit of soul searching early in the week. It is only round 1, but we need to jump back on the horse pretty quickly.
Can you win?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've proven, as have most of the sides across the competition, that everyone's best is good enough to beat anyone on a given day. So, yeah, we'll go there.
It's an obvious question, Sam. I get that, but it's not. It's a mental challenge.
That is a Dorothy Dixer. Do you think you can win? What did you think he was going to say?
I wanted to hear why he thought that.
Oh, you did not want to hear.
Because the Bulldogs went over there with
going to be
similar
contrived
expectations in the
gibberish
finals
that he was going to mention. Yes, I think we can. If we get the ball down, we go in hard and we keep concentrating. What else would he say? Craig, don't ask Dorothy Dixers, mate.
Who are you tipping, Bill?
West Coast Eagles over there. Yep.
Yeah, I think the Saints will find it a bit tough. They've lost 6 of the last 7 without Roo, and yeah, they might find it tough over there in the West.
No St Kilda.
Now, just very quickly, maybe that lad who's got the brace and bits and is not playing, what's his name?
Sean Dempster.
Maybe Sean thinks he should have been in the side, and maybe he should get a game this week just to prove that he should have been playing, Nick.
Well, he was at training yesterday, so...
Do you think he should have been picked last week?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's... I'm not a coach. I'm not paid to make those decisions.
I tell you what you are, man. You've got a person that's got an opinion. Do you think he should have been playing? You're an ex-captain, and you've been there for half your life.
Yeah, potentially. He was in the mix. Yep. He's been a great soldier for us for a long time. Hopefully, Paddy comes in this week.
Oh,
Billy,
Paddy,
your boy,
because he got dropped last week because of you.
Could I?
Might come back in.
Allegedly.
Quickly say Now, Ben Cousins, and our hearts go out to Brian and Stephanie, his parents. Now, Ben deserves to be where he is, not for the drugs, but for the other side of what he's done. He deserves to get put in jail, unfortunately. And I wonder if now I know you're going to roll your eyes up at this, Craig. I wonder if they'll take the Brownlow medal off him for taking performance-enhancing drugs like they took him off Joel Watson. Job Watson. And he hasn't even been proven to taken performance-enhancing drugs, but Ben Cousins has. So why wouldn't they take the Brownlow medal off him?
I want to get in this debate with you, Sam, because
well, just tell me why.
There's been no link or evidence to performance-enhancing drugs with Ben at any stage. There's
that
been
is
an enormous amount of evidence around...
The innuendo and the...
Innuendo is not a reason to do something.
Well, tell that to Job Watson. Tell that to Job Watson.
Where does innuendo stack up in any one's world?
Tell that to Job Watson. That's innuendo. He's been proven to have done nothing.
So you want to make decisions based on innuendo now in football?
That's what the AFL have done with Essendon.
Can we just echo as a footy show? I know you played with Brian, didn't you?
Brian, I did indeed.
What a heartfelt thing to go through as a parent. So everyone wishes Brian and Stephanie and the family all the very best. What Ben's going through.
It is just an awful situation. No matter how you feel about it, it is an awful situation for everybody involved. Sam's mailbag now. You ready for this, Sam?
Yeah, not really.
OK, open your folder. Sam's mailbag.
Body of Collingwood.
Body?
Body?
Bodie?
Do you vote for Collingwood?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What?
Did we talk over that, didn't we?
Sorry.
Good start, Sam.
No, that was my fault, sorry.
No, it was my fault. It's Body or Bodie? Sammy, I found a jigsaw of Billy Brownless at an op shop for $1.
Oh, sure.
I am prepared to sell it back to him for double that. I need the money. This is the piece. This is true. This is true. This is, if you can get a close-up of this, I didn't realise it was a jigsaw until that is actually a jigsaw. If you can see the little bits there. Yeah. And there's a bit missing there. The bit missing is, where is it? Here it is, here. This, we've enlarged it.
This will be funny. I can't wait.
This missing bit is either his brain or the blue-veined hooligan. The vermilion-tipped kidney product. That's what that probably could be. I don't know, it's a bit low for and did, says Body, and did Plugger, Plugger, because we had him on last week, did Plugger ever consider making any pig-themed merchandise? He would make a mozza, you know, he thought they should make some swine memorabilia. Well, they, as a matter of fact, they have. They made a jigsaw out of the pig. Oh. And there it is there. And here are the pieces in here. I'll get them in. There are the pieces, there. That's there.
Very good. Jigsaw.
Now, that's Plugger's pig saw, and Craig's going to eat it. So you get started on that, Craig.
He loves bacon. He does love bacon.
They're sponsored by Peter, you know, that ridiculous company that says don't eat meat. Eat as much meat as you can. It's really good for you. There. Go on, get started, I think. All right, now, number 2, 3. Where are we?
2.
Is it cooked?
Of course it's not cooked. Has that ever worried you? Stop your car. It'd stop your car and eat roadkill. He would. In fact, he goes out looking for it. You're a big man. You're going to swell up and die one day, Craig.
Number 2.
Steps. What?
Number 2.
What else you got?
Number 2.
What else you got?
Number 2.
Trot along, please.
It's number 3, isn't it?
No, it's 2.
I haven't got past 2 yet.
We should have probably gone to 3.
David of Carlton. Oh, Jesus, that makes me laugh. Oh. Dear Sam, how is Hutchie's fitness regime going?
Here we go again.
Well, he's got a six-pack. I can tell you he's got a six-pack. No, Craig. I'm going to ease back on it, mate. We've gone too far.
Too far. You think so?
I do, and I think you're looking fantastic. I've got the perfect, says Dave of Carlton, I've got the perfect event for you guys to send him to. It's called, this is true, the World Gravy Wrestling Championships in Lancashire in every August. This is it. This is the Gravy Wrestling Championships. This is it. This is known as one of the events in a Stratford that they have over there. He won't need any equipment, says David, just a straw. Maybe we could slaughter an elk or a caribou and just pour the gravy over it, and Craig could see if he could eat it. Now, Craig, David says, are you... and if we went over to Lancashire, Joel, you may be able to...
yeah, Stuart.
That's
it. I can get Stuart from Geelong Travel to help him out there. So.
I'm telling you, bullying continues, and by the time the year's out, I'll wrestle you in gravy right there.
Yes.
Well, there we are. There is my challenge.
I know you backed away from a few fights in the past, but
don't worry about this. And Becca, you can be in the gravy wrestling if you
I'll
wish.
give it a pass, probably.
Craig, it doesn't have to be at the end of the year. If you would like to take me on in a gravy wrestling competition here, we'll wear Nick Rewalt's Maddie Speedos, which I've worn for a long time. They're very good. We will come out here in our budgie smugglers, and I will wrestle you into submission. I'll put an inside... I'll put an inside step-over cocklock on you. You won't know what's hit you.
I would have wrestled a 20-year younger version of you, but at your vintage, I think that would be unreasonable.
Don't shoot your mouth off, mate. You stand in one corner, and I'll stand in the other, and we'll go for it. Are you up for that?
Yeah, anytime. You're on.
Anytime?
Yeah. Let it 3, sir. Move on. Let it 3.
Becca, You can be
Where
in
are
it
you
if you
going
wish.
next, Sam?
No, all
I'll
right.
pass. Thank you very much for the offer. That was very kind.
Steph of Moorabbin. Foss. Foss. Who has left the biggest impression on you in your time in the media? Well, I would have to say Eddie Maguire did, because he started me off in this. But he had an identity crisis with someone we spoke to out in the street one week.
Are you a Collingwood man? Mad Collingwood. Do you vote for Collingwood?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You do it
Yeah.
Going well?
Now, hang on. That's not right, is it?
No, it's
That's
not.
the wrong bit of vision. Can we cue the right...
Have another go, Sam.
Well, hang on.
Set it up again.
Are they all right up there?
Yeah, they're ready to go.
You've got to be near people.
Rob?
They're ready to
Right,
go.
well, Eddie had an identity crisis out in a couple of people we spoke to out in the street.
Play Eddie Maguire.
Eddie Maguire.
Do you know him?
He's a Collingwood, the manager.
That's right, he is the president.
It's the ace, what is it called?
President.
No, just say shit.
President.
He's a
President.
he's a
President, sir.
not president.
Yeah, no, he's the president.
Yeah, he is.
And, of course, another man I always had great respect for, because I did work with him, unlike any of you bozos here, the late, great Ted Whitten. I always had great respect for him.
Games of league football in the ruck, fought by the great big cat Polly Farmer. I pick up the paper this morning and I see him as a ruck coach at Hawthorn with a baseball mask on at training sessions. Can you explain the reason why?
Why do you wear that, Sam?
Well, Ted, it's called protection. And judging by the way you've turned out, to pity your father didn't employ someone.
You're right to Sam, GBO Box 9, Knuckleman, Victoria, 3001 or 9now.com.au/AFL Footy Show.
People booed that. Ted loved it.
He was one of the greats, the late, great E.J. Whitten. Becca.
Now, I've got something pretty special on my feet. Excuse me, just putting them. These are purple Converse. Nick for Maddie's Vision. Converse teamed up. You can actually buy these. $20 from every pair will be donated to Maddie's Vision in the hope of finding a cure for bone marrow failure. You can head to... There you go, Nick. You can read that out and give it a good plug.
Yeah, mrv.org.au. We've been really fortunate. We've had such great support over the past 18 months from the entire footy community. Initiatives like that, and then we've got Maddie's match again later in the year, so I certainly encourage everyone to get online and support it.
And they're doing baby ones too. You can do kids ones this year too.
They look magnificent,
Don't
Becca.
they? I'm very comfy.
Sensational. Well done to Nick for all the work you're doing in that space, mrv.org.au. To Nick and to Joel for being in tonight. There's a new panel to come. Thanks for joining us this evening, and good luck with your comeback, Nick, in what, a few weeks?
Couple of weeks, hopefully.
Couple of weeks. Yep. And Joel, good luck on the weekend. Nick Rewald, Joel Selwood joining us on the Footy Show. Still to come, Bernie Vince, Caleb Daniel, more Damo, Suki Suki Lala, a whole lot more ahead on the Footy Show.
We have the very best sponsors in the world here on the Footy Show. Thank you to Home Timber and Hardware. Go where the tradies go. Chemist Warehouse, the home of real brands and real savings. Telstra, stream it live, fast and data-free. And Sportsbet, download the mobile app today.
Speaking of Sportsbet, the new Same Game Multi is out now. You can now jump on the Sportsbet app and place an AFL multi within the same game of footy. Check out the Sportsbet Same Game Multi of the week. One sharp punter placed $20 on George Castagna to kick the first goal, with Dusty Martin to kick 4 or more, which returned $5,500.
Nice.
Wow. Talk about a nice start to the year. $5,500. To get involved this AFL season, just download the app. And if you're having a bet, please always gamble responsibly.
Now, Hutch, we need to introduce our next panel, and it's great because their teams are on fire. They both had wins in round one. Please put your hands together for Bernie Vince from the Melbourne Footy Club and Caleb Daniel from the Doggies.
Hello, mate. Very nice to see you. Hello, Caleb.
Sam, how are you?
Look at Caleb. Look at that.
Look at him. He's a beauty.
He is a beauty.
A lot of Bulldog fans in the house, and don't they love the premiership star, Caleb Daniel? And good to have you here, Bernard. Welcome to you both. Great to have you along. Bern, you're not playing this weekend. What's happened? You're in trouble again.
Oh, Bernie.
Yeah, had a little bit of a mishap on the weekend, but a bit disappointing, a bit silly. I didn't think I actually touched him that hard, but yeah, unfortunately I missed a week and...
Stupid.
You took the early plea in the week. Your dad came over to watch you play and he...
Yeah, Dad's come all the way over, yeah. He said it's the first time he's come over for a whole week, so he said, I'll stay for the whole week and I'll watch you play Sunday as well. And the plans have changed.
Did he, by any chance, Bernie, tell you to take that silly moustache off?
I'm just happy you can see it, Sam.
Hey, in all seriousness, Bern, before we get to Caleb, you play on the edge. It's not your first rodeo. Do you need to change the way you play, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I had a good chat to Simon Goodwin about it, and he doesn't want me to...
He had a good chat to you.
Oh, look at that.
That actually missed as well, that one.
Come on, Bernie, and then you're fighting with Paddy.
That Sam Mitchell started that too, and that missed.
Oh.
Look at the other two in there.
Why are you going all aggressive? Why are you
I don't think I am, mate.
You used to be a nice country boy and a very placid. Now you're fighting everyone.
Well, Goody likes me to play on the edge, so every now and then I fall over the edge.
Well, maybe getting married will settle you down.
Yes, because you were Adelaide and Melbourne's most eligible bachelor. But now, look at this. What about the photo? That is magnificent. You're engaged.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Engaged in the off-season. That was magnificent, man. With a lovely couple.
Abby, yeah.
Lovely Abby.
Good guess, Bill. Good guess.
Yes. So that was just walking along the beach and
yeah, it's a good
went
photo,
down on
that.
the knee.
That was actually a fluke, that photo. We got the shadow of us two in the background and we just couldn't take it the other way because the sun was so bright over in Adelaide because it's such a great city.
So your best man will be?
It's the Texan and I'm really worried about me buck show, mate. I'm very worried because he rings me 4 times a day saying updates. And
we heard there's 90 going to your Bucks crew. Is that right?
Yeah, that was the latest today. But
90 people?
Tex can't count past 3, so I'm not sure where you're getting the numbers.
When is it?
It's the first week of October, so...
How many do you have at your respective Bucks
actually
shows?
after a break, Sam.
How many do you have at your respective Bucks?
400,000 collectively for all the times I've been married.
Times 4.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. It's good to have you along.
It is. It's great to have Caleb Daniel in the house as well. You have never been on the Footy show before. Premiership star. So welcome. Caleb, what a rise to the top you've had. I can't believe it. You're still 20 years old, although you do look 15. 20 years old. Second year of senior footy, and you've already won a premiership. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better start to your amazing footy career.
Look, has to bend down. Just watch this. We love this. This is getting the premiership medal.
Great
There's
moment.
Ruffy bending down all that way for the little kid. And here comes little Caleb, and the kid just goes plonk straight onto him.
And that was a tall kid, wasn't it, Caleb?
Yeah, to be fair, he was actually probably one of the taller ones in the Oz kick, so yeah, I'm not quite that sure.
Serious question though about your story. It hasn't always been easy for you. You are actually, I think, the smallest AFL player at the moment. And you were overlooked pretty early in your career and you were lucky to be picked up from the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, the Bulldogs took a little bit of a chance with me and took me pretty late in the draft and, you know, to be able to play there during the 2015 year when I guess a few things went wrong with the club and a few things changed, to be able to come out there and play some decent footy, and then obviously last year was an amazing ride as well.
Your story mirrors the Bulldogs, I reckon. It's a self-belief in yourself when others doubted you, same as the team last year. At what point did you think we could win this, and what did it mean to you, given, as Beck said, how much you'd had to convince people to draft you along the way?
Oh, well, obviously it's pretty early in the year when you start winning games and you're playing some good footy and, you know, things are going well, and then, you know, you come through some hiccups and some people get injured and that sort of stuff, you start to doubt a little bit. But the way that the boys really gelled and played some good footy towards the back end of the year, you really had confidence, and then that first final, you know, once we won that, we really thought that, you know, we're a massive chance. So yeah, it was pretty good.
And Caleb, if you're not a Western Bulldogs fan, you might not recognise you sitting on the panel tonight because you're usually wearing this.
A helmet.
And that is the same. You wear the same helmet today than you wear when you were 10 years old?
Yeah, I was probably about eight or so in that photo, I reckon, with a little tat on the arm, which is nice.
So that's the same helmet that you go out on the field with today?
Yeah, that's the exact one, yeah. So,
how is that possible?
I don't
know. I mustn't get hit in the head too often.
You've got the same head.
Yeah.
No, you got the same head, but it hasn't grown.
Oh, I reckon it was a bit big on me in that, but yeah, it's grown a little bit. There's a little bit of rust on it, but it's not too bad.
Hang on, surely your head grows from when you were 10, doesn't it?
Oh, well, Bernie, what have you got down there? Because the great man over here, his head underneath you, dopey.
I was going to be worried about what head you meant.
Bernie, tune in, Bernie.
Because look at the boss's head.
Well, some people's head continues to grow. That's a big head.
Have you know, I had polio. And that's why my body wasn't how it should have been, Craig.
You've shrunk your face a few times in surgery.
You epitomise, Caleb, you absolutely epitomise that adage, and I use the word advisedly. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. And you are the living example of that. And when you came out here, I'd never met you before, and I stood beside you. You've got a fair rig on you, mate. You're tight and muscled.
This might be a...
Should we play the Tyson's much the perfect match?
On the helmet, just a really quick one on the helmet. We've got to move on. Is it safety or superstition?
It's a little bit of both. It started off when I was young, obviously. Mum wanted me to wear it, yeah. So sort of thought I'd go out there and do what she asked, and then once I'd played a couple of years in it, it sort of just became part of the kit bag, like a mouth guard, and like your footy boots, you just pack it and wear it and see how you go.
The old helmet. Hey, this is the best moment of last weekend. Have a look at this here, boss. Look at this. This is Trav Clyde playing for the Doggies. Comes in from outside 50, goes bang! And look at Joffa. Wait for Joffa. Look at, well done, Trav. That was fantastic. And Joffa just does not believe it. Poor old Joff.
All right, more on that a little bit later. Welcome back again to Damien Barrett, 17-time winner of the AFMA Most Outstanding Electronic News Reporter. Welcome back, Damo, as we get into your segment tonight. Really aggressive recruiting going on in the competition already for 2018. Shapes as a massive off-season already, as hard as it is to believe. And the Hawks are very active in a rival captain.
Yeah, well, they've already had a concerted and a very long and bold bid to revitalise its list through the acquisition of senior players from other clubs, and that will not cease. We can tell you tonight that the Gold Coast Suns co-captain Stephen May is a latest target of the Hawks as they try to phase into a life that will not almost certainly have Josh Gibson beyond this particular season. May is out of contract. There are several offers that his management is wading through, but the Hawks is one that is a significant one, and one that will take some time for him to digest. He's not going to sort out his time at the Gold Coast Suns for some time yet.
Interesting, they couldn't get him signed before he took on the co-captaincy. Rodney Eade's future will be the other one on the agenda fairly soon at the Suns.
Yeah, look, could have done personally, Rodney Eade, without losing that bad game to the Lions last week. They've got GWS this week, Hawthorn next week, and people at the Footy Club are already nervous about what lies ahead in round 4. That game being against Carlton. It's going to be a potentially career-shaping game from that game if the next 3 games go the way that most punters will expect they will do.
Do you think he'll be coaching them next year?
I think it's going to be very, very hard for him to be coached this year. It's certainly not a done deal, and he does have the backing of the board, and we know what that can mean at some times. But they have bolstered and helped him, and with some extra support around the high performance areas. A guy by the name of Christian Stagliano has joined the club to work closely with Rodney throughout the course of 2017, and he's a man who used to be at Collingwood in a similar role. We move on to Tom Boyd, Hutchie. We've known that he's on a massive wage, $7 million effectively over the 7 seasons by way of his contract with the Bulldogs. A little bit further digging into the 2016 AFL books will prove that Tom Boyd was arguably on the highest wage ever earned by an AFL player within a single season in 2016. That wage was significantly north of $1.7 million in the confines of 2016. And we know he gave it back in spades, given that he was nearly a Norm Smith medalist and played an outstanding final series. But the deal that they've got, if it wasn't the highest ever from one season for an AFL player, it would be second only to Gary Ablett's initial time at the Gold Coast Suns.
And the Dogs with some challenges, obviously, to re-sign some stars, including Johannesson at the moment. Before you go, Chris Yarran, will we see him in AFL circles again?
Yeah, look, there's every chance that we will on the back of him now training consistently with Swan Districts in the waffle, with the view to him playing inside the next 2 weeks to possibly 4. And that is a long-term plan, a long-range plan for him to present himself in a condition and a way that AFL clubs may well be interested. He is only 26, as we know, still on the officially Tigers list this year, but they have effectively deregistered him from their books. And just a sad one before we finish. The playing groups of both Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions today were told of the passing of Tom Hanley. Tom Hanley, the brother of Pierce and Kian. And the two Pierce boys did leave Australia for Ireland last week to be with their sick brother Tom, and they were able to see him before he did pass last night.
That's very sad. Our thoughts with the Hanley family and all in the Gold Coast Suns. Damo, thanks for joining us. Damien Barrett joining us on the Footy Show.
As I was trawling through all the games, Beck, all of them I watched.
All weekend, back to back.
Glued, you know, even jettisoned the Grand Prix to watch all the games. I noticed a piece of political correct stupidity. Now, this is not to knock the institution, but I noticed the umpires were individually announced and their images put up on the scoreboard. What for?
At the start of the game?
At the start of the game.
No.
Great umpires are ones that are not noticed. This is unionism gone mad. Peter Schwab, if you've fallen for that and been...
It's respectful, Sam.
It's not respectful. It's absolute bullshit.
Is it necessary?
To identify, name and put their photos up on the screen, the umpires.
At least it makes them accountable.
It doesn't make them accountable. Just have a watch it, what some of them do. It is ridiculous. That is just nonsense. So... seriously, where have we got to? It's like putting flashing lights on the footpath so people don't text when they're walking across the street. They're thinking of doing that.
Yeah, I know. No, they're doing that. They're trialling it.
Well, let's hope a few people get run over for being stupid.
What the umpires should do, Foss, is get the players' names right, especially a captain of the Hawthorn Football Club. Have a look at this before the bounce.
Jordan, you'll have the call. Jared, you'll have the call. Thanks, please.
Called him Jordan, it's Jared.
So at least we knew who the umpire was, because his name had been on the screen. Who'd seen his
We
number.
don't want to know his name. We don't want to know who they are. We just want them to get on with it, be out of sight and just quietly go about their work without the preening and the nonsense.
We do. We need to take a very short break on the Footy Show, but listen up. You don't want to go anywhere because Sam drops a bombshell like no other. That is on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. We'll see you shortly.
It's there up for grabs. Dalhouse conjured something and it's through. Good to go. Mark this date down, Western Bulldogs fans. Saturday, May the 2nd, 2015. This club. Oh, this is just amazing. Look at these scenes. Springer breaks through. Oh, kicks one of the goals of the year. But he wastes no time. This will bring the crowd alive. Plays on quickly, and this for the match. Struck it well. He's living the dream. Siren's going to sound. Swan fans currently watch and wait. It's a win to blow your mind. It's the M7 in the corporate now. It's on the line and away we go. Balls to Kennedy. Kennedy again. McLean hooking. Oh yes. And the champion nails it. Pickett from behind. What a mark. The stadium holds its breath. It's a goal. It's all over. The trap. The damn wall is busted. It's 62 long years.
meet. It is a blockbuster match. Caleb, going into we'll get to the teams in a minute, but going into the grand final rematch, what's the feeling like?
Oh yeah, it's pretty exciting, I guess. We just had a win in round 1 and it's round 2 and it's already sort of the grand final rematch, I guess. And you know, Sydney had a loss on the weekend, so we know that they'll be coming out really firing, and their midfield will probably be on, I would have thought. OK, well, it's happening Friday night at Etihad. It is the Western Bulldogs taking on the Sydney Swans. And it was actually very odd to take a look at these scenes. The story, obviously, Sydney losing, Swans, they really do need to bounce back. They were quite shocked, I imagine, to go down to Port. They lost by 28 points there. They just didn't look themselves, Sydney.
Got some injuries too, Becca, no question.
Rampy, obviously, during the week, that was a sort of a training mishap. Koshy pretty happy there. Rampy falling over that chain and breaking his arm. Bill, what do you make of this grand final rematch? It's going to be an absolute ripper. Can the Doggies do it again?
Hey, they can at Etihad. Of course they can at Etihad. They're nice and quick there. Easy to do to fall over one of those chains. I did that in Mirrable Street one night on the piss.
Up to Lammies.
Your both feet get caught in a chain and you're stuffed. You've got nowhere to go. It's the worst feeling in the world. But the Doggies can win, can't you, Caleb?
Yeah, we're hoping to, so it'll be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be another cracker. Sydney looking to respond from last week, but I think the Doggies will get it done again. They know how to beat the Swans, won the last few against them, so...
Surprised you didn't ask Caleb, did you think the Doggies could win, Craig?
Yeah, can you win this, Caleb?
Yeah,
just quickly, Caleb, before we get to Sam's tip, Johannesson out of contract has put talks off. He's become an elite star, Norm Smith medalist, 30 possessions round 1. Is that a concern for the club that he's decided to not entertain any more talks?
Well, I'm not too sure if it's a concern. I think, you know, JJ is really focused on footy at the moment, and we're really happy to have him on board at the footy club, and we really love what he brings to us at the table and at the Dogs, and the way that he's able to play the game is pretty special. So I guess I can't really comment too much on what his contract talks are doing.
You worried about the Swans, Sam?
Sam?
Who wins the game?
Am I worried about it?
Cast your eye
I have no worry at all about any of them.
Doggies or
what an anticlimax it would have been if the Dogs hadn't have won last week against Collingwood. Nothing against Collingwood, but playing on adrenaline and the hoopla after that great victory, they will...
Unfurling of the flag too this week? Yeah.
Pardon, Craig?
The flag unfurled this week?
Yes, let's hope it blows with no wind in the stadium. Let's hope it just doesn't droop.
You're tipping the Dogs, obviously, yeah?
I am tipping the Dogs, yes, of course.
For all those people that tweet me every week saying I don't tip the Dogs, listen, I'm tipping the Dogs.
Just noticed in the crowd before, and we should show our respect to the saviour of the Footscray Football Club. That's Irene Chatfield there in the crowd tonight. Irene, of course, famously lodged the Supreme Court writ to stop the merger back in the day. She was depicted in the video in the AFL season launch. 3 bouts of surgery over the summer for shoulder cancer, but I believe you've got the all clear, Irene, in the last 3 weeks. That's a magnificent piece of news for Bulldogs fans. Great to see you here tonight. And on behalf of everyone, congratulations, Irene, on your role in the premiership. It was sensational.
She is the Don Scott of
No
Footscray.
question about that.
They named a song after her.
What's that?
Come on, Eileen.
Irene, Bill. Irene.
They got the word.
Let's get to Melbourne and Carlton Sunday at the MCG. The Demons are one of the informed teams in the competition at the moment, albeit 1 round in, Bernie, but there's some good judges. I think you guys are going to go very deep.
Yes.
This man's propelling you at the moment. Max Gawn dominated it, and the tactic of running 9 players off the back of the square is an interesting one. Is this an innovation because of his dominance?
Well, that was actually new to us. On Thursday's meeting, we learnt we were going to do that, so that was something good he thought was going to work. But yeah, Maxie's been awesome, and I think Tom Hickey had got his number a couple of times the last few times we played him, and not many players have done that to Max, so he was really fired up and was really important for us.
For those who didn't see it, you had 9 players off the back of the square playing as extra mids and storming through the midfield. You're obviously not famous for your knowledge of tactics. Bernie, how did you go with that?
Yeah, I didn't actually know we were doing it. I was wondering why we had 9 after. I thought we were going to do it for the first bounce, but we kept doing it, so...
It worked.
Yeah, it worked. We seemed to get him involved, so I don't know if we'll do it again this week, but we'll see. I won't have to worry, I'm not there. Forgot about that.
Oh, you forgot you weren't playing?
Yeah, I did.
The D's win this one. D's at the G.
Yeah, I'll back the D's in as well.
Thanks, Caleb. Sam?
No, the difference between Carlton and Richmond was Dustin Martin. He's not there this week, so I think Carlton might actually beat...
Carlton beat Melbourne.
What? I think Carlton might beat Melbourne at the MCG.
No chance.
You're gone.
Because Dustin Martin's not there for Richmond.
Top four, the D's.
Do you understand that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, don't worry. I am tipping Melbourne.
There you go. By the way, this game, the Melbourne Football Club and the Reach Foundation have partnered for the round for Reach Clash with the Blues. The Reach Foundation helps 30,000 kids a year in honour of the late, great co-founder Jim Steins. We're urging everyone to donate $11 to help this great foundation continue its vital work. Well done to the team of the Reach Foundation. Magnificent. And don't forget, of course, kids getting free at the MCG on Sunday, which is a great initiative.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that we have all been waiting for, and the moment...
Sammy shit himself!
Thank you very much for that. And the moment Sam Newman does not want us to play. But pre-season, we had a team bonding session. We played part 1 a couple of weeks ago, but it gets really interesting in part 2. Here you go.
That's it. Go harder.
I feel like David Attenborough.
Today, we're out in the bush here in Australia, and we've got 3 morons here who are local residents, and they are trying to light a fire. But so far...
It's not bad from you, Foss.
Oh, good on you! Look at this. We're lighting a fire.
My hands are sore.
There's a spider.
What's a spider?
Oh, look.
There's a spider in there.
Oh, geez.
There's a redback.
I've had it.
All right, I've got a very special guest. You're going to love this. This is, what is your name?
Murray McAllister.
That's correct.
Not his name.
No, that is correct.
Forgot it.
I was testing.
He had one job.
Here's one of these for you. Have a bit of a look. That's what we're looking for. Looking for the real thing, not the Masonite cutout. There we have a look at that.
What is it?
Tassie Tiger, mate. Because you guys are the new recruits for Tassie Tiger hunting, and this is Tassie Tiger territory.
I'm not with you, mate.
You're not.
Okay, Sam, what does a Tasmanian tiger sound like?
What do you reckon?
Go for it.
Don't choke yourself, Sam. But anyway, you're pretty close. Yeah, right. Shut up. What about you, Rebecca? I like the facial expressions there, Beck. What about you, Bill? What do you reckon? How would they sound? Sounds like a chook, Bill. Yes, Sam, you got a hand up.
Murray, I'm not an experienced bushman, but this is not a vast hinterland here.
No, but they can hide.
Murray, please. In 40 years, surely one would have reared its head so you could have taken a photograph of it. Mate, I think you're urinating into the wind.
This is the cunning nature of the beast that we're looking for.
Motion-activated cameras?
This is right.
Motion-activated
cameras. Hang on, Rebecca. I'm trying to answer Sam's question here for a minute. Don't interrupt if you don't mind.
Please be respectful.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the size of one?
Oh, it's a little bit bigger.
Why don't you get one that's thick as your size of one, Murray? Then that would be more descriptive.
They're normally about 5
That's not a
foot
bad
long.
point.
Well, you could carry a... Shame.
Actually, if you can bring a live one and just trot it around there, that'd be good, mate.
Murray, what, is that about 5 feet?
Well, could be.
Right, well, I'm going to pretend this is a Tasmanian tiger, because that's more representative than that crap you got in your hand. So here is one
Just trying to give you the idea, Sam. Take it off you.
Any imbecile would know that. You've got to bring out a life-size...
A life-size one?
Of course, so what's the point of it? It's like saying, look, this is a 30-foot anaconda here, look.
Is it?
Can you imagine that's a 30-foot anaconda? Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. That's what they look like.
That's not really how big they are, but I've just bought a sort of a model out for you. What's wrong with you, man?
Now, we're all very hungry. It's dinner time.
Starving.
Look up, and what can you see? There is a bag above me full of food, but here is the catch. It's out of reach. What we need to do is we need everyone one at a time to hop up on the podium, and you need to tell us something about yourself that the public doesn't know, okay?
No one knows.
And if the producers are happy, down will come the food.
When I was 6 or 7, I was watching my dad chop wood, and I was on a little bike, okay, sitting there, and I was watching my dad chop wood, and he chopped this big bit of wood,
and it blew up and hit me fair in the face here, and that's why I got a scar on my nose. But it was a very horrific accident, and I still live with it now.
Not a dry eye in the house, Bill.
How do we go?
Have we got another one?
No.
Bill, this is for food.
I get
I haven't cooked a meal in 20 years.
You've ate them.
What?
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
And that's some great honesty.
That is, you're
That is
very
a level that
brave.
you need to look at.
You're
you
telling
freak.
that
Is it coming down?
story. A little, that's all the way
Good
down.
work, Hutch.
All the way down.
Oh.
Come on.
Here, I'll lift you up.
Oh, good luck.
Now, I'm not necessarily worried about saying this because it's a fact. And there's only one other person I know that shares a similar experience, and that's Sir Richard Branson. When he was on the Footy show, when we were at Channel 9 in Richmond, I drove him back to his premises at the Crown, where he was staying, and I'd read in his book that he had had this done. And I said, that is exactly what happened to me. I was circumcised when I was 15. If that doesn't get us the food, nothing will.
I got circumcised when I was 1. It must have hurt. I couldn't walk for a year.
Exactly the point, Bill. Most people get circumcised at birth. I was circumcised when I was 15.
Are you serious?
And that was your
Show us,
decision?
Foss.
That was what you wanted?
Of course it was what I wanted.
why
What
did
do you
you
think?
want-
My mum and dad pushed me in there and said, Dree, get that thing cut off. And hurt, holy mackerel, hurt for 6 months.
So you weren't happy with the snorkel look?
Cannot believe this.
What do you reckon about that, producers? Come on! Oh, we've got the sponsors!
Thanks,
Well
Fossy.
done, Samuel! All right, is that true or did you make that up?
That is true.
I don't even know what to say.
Where do we start here?
Do we have to start?
No, why? Why did you do
Why
it
did it
at
take
15?
till you were 15, Sam?
Well, I asked Richard Branson that, why he had it done. He said he thought it...
You were teased?
I was. He thought his female, because he was a heterosexual, he thought his female companions, it was more not palatable. That's the wrong...
That was a slip of the tongue,
That is the wrong word. It was more aesthetically pleasing to them. And I sort of figured that as well. And but he told me, now this is true because it's in his book, I'm not making this up and I'm making fun of him because he said this. He said he had it done and when he came out of hospital on the next day, it was a day procedure, he met someone who made him aroused and he became aroused and firm and burst the stitches in his... It took him a year. It took him a year for the thing to heal.
But
that's what he said.
You were at boarding school and you got teased and you went in and had it.
So you were bullied
In
into
fairness,
it.
it was very brave of you to say that in front of national television.
That was stupid to say.
And you've joined Caleb. Caleb's joined you. Where's the helmet?
On that note, more to come right after this on the Footy Show.
I can't believe the things we talk about here on this show.
Not only were the crowds back in round 1, but so too was the barrel. The taunt was everywhere on the weekend. Some great barrels kicked as teams went after it in different ways on the weekend. It was wonderful to see one of the great things in football history back up and about all weekend. The barrel is back in 2017. Bernie, you love a barrel. Caleb, what was your take on so many torps on the weekend?
I didn't realise there were so many, but I did like Dustin Martin's Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Dusty's. I can't kick it too far, so I was a bit jealous.
Do you think it's because of the zones now it's become a weapon again?
Oh, I think a long kick is definitely a weapon in the team. Yeah, barrel just gets a little bit extra.
There's been some great torps in history, Bill.
It has.
There's been some unbelievable torpedoes at goal.
Yep.
And possibly the best ever kick at goal was this from Gary Ablett. This is the greatest goal ever never kicked because of you, Bill.
Oh!
It lands on your head.
It actually hit me. It was like a Scud missile. Look
What
at
are
it.
you doing here,
It
Bill?
goes through the air 100 miles an hour. It's going to go through and then it just drops and hits me in the neck.
Look at that, hit me in the neck. Could have been one of the great goals of all time, and I touched it. You idiot, Bill, you idiot. Why would
Would
you
have
do
been
that?
one of the greatest goals in history.
You idiot, Bill.
Thank you.
You couldn't get out of the way of it, you big pickle. Righto.
Now, congratulations to the women's team, the Adelaide Footy Club.
Yeah.
They won the grand final, first ever grand final over the Brisbane Lions.
Come over here.
It was a sensational match. I cried at the end of that match as well. I had a weekend of crying after Essendon and that grand final.
How good was it?
It was absolutely sensational. It was a really tight match. The girls got over the Brisbane Lions by just a goal in. And Erin Phillips, co-captain there, holding up the award there. She is sensational, and she, of course, won the best and fairest, or the equivalent to the best and fairest last night as well. She is an absolute superstar, Erin Phillips. She heads back to the States to continue her basketball career.
Incredible, isn't it?
Incredible.
And Beck got over a coaching effort with teams in 2 states. And
terrific.
Also Chelsea Randall with the great sacrificial game she played as well. Well done to the Adelaide Crows, well done to the men's team as well. They had a big week in round 1 the next day, and the girls were there watching them. And this weekend it's on for young and old again. Hawthorn and Adelaide at the MCG. This will be fascinating. That man, Luke Hodge, will be fired up according to those that know him. He was demonstrative in the box last week. He wanted to have his say with Alistair Clarkson, as you can see there. And it'll be fascinating to see what version of Luke Hodge we get on the weekend against your old mob, Bernie, the Adelaide Crows, who are in pretty good nick.
They are very good on the weekend. Scored 147 points without Tex. I told him he might not get back in, but yeah, it could go either way this game. Hawthorn could come out and respond, or the Crows could keep their winning way. So, what's going on over there, Sam?
We do not know.
Your old man over here.
Timmy.
You didn't mention that before, mate.
Nah.
He came over 3 weeks to watch you play and he hasn't seen you at all.
Actually, I did mention that, Sam. I said he's over here for the week.
Well, you didn't say he was here.
I didn't, Sam.
What's that? He got that stupid goatee.
What do you?
It's his Mark Rashudo. Have a look, it's terrible.
What do you think, Sam, of Luke Hodge being back?
One of the more ridiculous. Now listen. Why would you sacrifice? Don't forget the support. Thank you, Craig. The supporters. Imagine if that side, Hawthorn, misses out on the 8 by a game because they didn't play Luke Hodge for disciplinary reasons. How silly is that? You've got a man sitting up in the box in the opening game for no good reason than he missed a training. Why would you cut your nose off to spite your face? There's a lot more penalties you can give a player. You can get him to mow the nature strip or paint the clubhouse. Why would you do that? And as for a the leadership group sitting in judgment of Luke Hodge, it is ridiculous. Why do you have a leadership group? The people who run the club should be the coach and the chairman of selectors. They're the leadership group, and the others just play because they're a team. Don't have sects and stratas and tiers in a club.
Alistair Clarkson would have been involved in this.
Alistair Clarkson, it is a ridiculous decision, Al, to leave your best player out at the opening game just for disciplinary reasons. It's nonsense.
Got some vision here of during the week, Foss. Luke Hodge will love this. Have a look at this. Hawthorn training during the week. They're all warming up. And look who turns up late at training.
Oh!
Ruffy. So I wonder if Luke just says, hey, Ruff, what are you doing turning up late? We might suspend you for a game.
Who are you tipping, Bill?
Adelaide.
I think the Hawks will bounce back.
Bern?
Did I tip before? I'm going to go Adelaide as well.
Sam?
Well, I think the Hawks will bounce back. Mind you, Adelaide were fantastic. It is Luke Hodge playing this week.
Yes.
Well, he will give them a message, good and proper.
Yeah. I agonised over this one all day today, but I'm
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
My God, you've got to
Legitimately.
get about a bit more.
Beck, are you worried about Caleb's hair and how good it looks?
Worried about it? No, I was complimenting him in the commercial break.
good
I
is
said
it?
he should not wear the helmet
Looks
because it
like
would look
James
lovely.
Dean.
James Dean.
You would know who James Dean is.
Yes, a movie star.
Yeah, he is. He looks like a movie star, Caleb.
thank you.
Hawthorn for me. We're going to take a very short break. On the Footy Show, we'll see you on the other side of this.
Almost Footy Legends is back this year with plenty of great prizes, Bernie, to get you in the swing of things. We thought we'd have a look at some of the best entries from last year. Have a look at this one, Myrtleford versus Wodonga. Have a look at this. Walesy takes an absolute hanger. You beauty, Walesy. That is a great grab, mate, from Myrtleford.
Bill, I got Ringwood versus Heathmont here, and Ringwood's Alistair Gillespie launched some serious hang time here. Pulled down this huge go.
double grab. Jason Dizzy Gillespie's brother.
Oh, Doodle, he got the double jump there.
Double jump.
And we love this one here, Takana taking on East Sunbury. Have a look at this lady. She's on the phone, she's doing the scoreboard, she's doing everything. Has a bit of a slip. What did I see? Oh, we love that. That was fantastic. She's trying to do everything. She has a bit of a tumble. Drops the phone. Good on you. Well done. Good on you. That is fantastic. Of course, if one comes out and we judge it here with the crowd, the best prize wins this. Good on you!
Thanks to Sportsbet, our weekly winner takes home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up get $500 each. Get involved this AFL season and place a same-game multi with Sportsbet. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, our major winner receives $5,000 in gift cards and a toolbox full of $45,000 in cold hard cash. That's a $50,000 prize. How's that to help you go hard towards the renovation you've always wanted? So to put the hard back into hardware, go where the tradies go. Home Timber and Hardware.
$50,000. That is unbelievable. All you have to do is send your entries to Almost Footy Legends, GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria, 3001. Or go to 9now.com.au/AFL Footy Show. Upload your video. $50,000 from Home Timber and Hardware.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Go where the tradies go back.
Yes, I always go there.
I know you go there.
Phil, speaking of favourite moments from 2016, it would be remiss of us to not relive a favourite moment of mine from the grand final footy show where you totally got fresh aired by the Home Timber and Hardware. Have a look at this. No shake for you, Bill.
Mate, it's not that hard.
Well, you're a big star, Bill. They don't even want to shake your hand.
So did I.
Completely brushed, Bill. Completely brushed. Speaking of our partners, Chemist Warehouse, one of our major partners for the year, and this is a magnificent initiative from Chemist Warehouse supporting the Save Our Sons charity walk again this year. It's a 300-kilometre walk around the Bay of Melbourne, and the guys are in tonight. Well done, everyone involved, raising much-needed funds for the Duchenne muscular dystrophy in children, aiming to raise $1.2 million, which will help include an around-the-clock specialist nurse. 1.2 million specialist nurse in every single Australian children's hospital. Some of the walkers are in tonight. There's 9 days down, 2 days to go. The big dinner I'm looking forward to on Saturday night. Well done to everyone involved.
You're looking forward to a big dinner.
It's the finale, big dinner. It's the ball on Saturday night.
How many courses?
Hopefully 6 or 7. SaveOurSons.org.au. Good luck to everyone and thanks for coming in tonight. We really appreciate it.
That's a big walk. Let's get to this clash. It is Greater Western Sydney taking on the Suns. It's the Saturday twilight game at Spotless. And this is really unusual. GWS sitting on the bottom of the ladder at the moment. Lost to Adelaide by 51 points at Adelaide Oval. We thought they'd be right up the top, premiership favourites. Bill, can I have your tip, please?
You've got to go to the Giants. They've got to bounce back, and they will, I reckon. Little fella?
Yeah, GWS were pretty handy last year, so I reckon they'll bounce back here.
Yeah, I think you can't go past the Giants. They'll bounce back. Purely for the reason Toby Green's the second GWS player to play 100 games.
Good on you, Toby.
Toby.
That's a milestone.
I don't know what that means, Bernie. That means he's either good or they're short of talent, that he's played 100 games. But they'll start their campaign, their 2017 campaign this week, Craig, and they'll be in the top 4, and that will be just a matter of course.
That was just a little blip, was it?
Just a blip.
Oh, just a blip.
Just a little bit of complacency early.
OK, round 20 last year, GWS won by 8 points the last time they met. It was a close game. Yeah, GWS for me.
All right, big one, big milestones too in this game. Port Adelaide against Fremantle. Port could be 2-0 on Sunday at Adelaide Oval. This will be a ripper. Game number 201 to Travis Boat. Well done on his 200th last weekend. And Daniel Pearce playing 250 against his old side, which is a great story. Bill, can Fremantle bounce back or Port's good run continue?
No, Port at home. They were very, very good last week and they'll go again. 2 from 2 for me.
Yeah, Port were impressive, so I'll back them in as well.
Yeah, Port at home for me too. Very good last week. Didn't see that coming. But...
I saw it. I watched it carefully.
Who was good?
Pardon?
Who was their best player?
Port was their good. Port were good.
Who?
Cocky was good in the stand too. He was the president.
Koshy.
Oh, Koshy. Port. These two sides will end up in the 8. Freo will end up in the 8, as I suggested last week, or at the start of the year. When was that? So Port will win, but Freo will give a good account of themselves.
Okay, Freo were no good on Sunday.
No
Absolutely
good.
no good at all. So Port for me.
You got your favourite player, Sam Powell-Pepper?
Sam Powell-Pepper. Wasn't he great?
Yeah. How quick can you
First
say
game,
that?
2 goals. We're going to take a little short break here on the Footy Show. We'll see you on the other side of this.
Big weekend on 9, the mighty all-concrete Sunday Footy Show. TJ seen them like basketballs last Sunday, up and about, dissecting all the news, 11:30. TJ and the team. Jaga O'Meara, the all-star act in the house, Sunday morning at 11:30. And then Footy Class, Monday, live, 8:30 on Go. Gary in career best form, Lordo in the house too, and Caro with Caro Garo and a whole lot more. Monday, 8:30, live on Go, which will be absolutely...
Footy Show on Thursday night, 8:30. So don't forget that.
And a big night with the unfurling of the flag tomorrow night, Sam.
Now, we just want to... Now, Caleb's just here for moral support for Irene. We want to... you've got a big... have you got a big honour coming up to unfurl the flag, or do you know if you're going to unfurl it tomorrow?
I'm not sure yet.
On Friday? When is it?
Friday.
Yeah,
Friday night. A great night, you know, after we, you know, make our second premiership over Sydney
Yes.
on Friday night. And
You'll be there?
I definitely will be there. If I wasn't on the ground, I'd still be sitting in the audience
You have
watching,
a roll,
you know.
don't you? You have a roll tomorrow night, I hear?
They'll give you a roll. They'll
Yes,
get you
I'm
to do
either
something.
unfurling the flag, which would be a great honour, and or just walking it down on the ground to give
Carrying
to a champion.
Carrying the cup on.
Oh, that would be awesome. And
Give it a big wave for us as we say goodbye for the show, all right?
I feel like with champagne and drink.
We'll see you next week on the Footy Show.
Thanks, Caleb. Thanks, Bernie Vince. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Hutch. See you next week, Thursday, 8:30. See you then.